United Airlines is continuing with its fleet renewal processes by confirming that more aircraft will be retired earlier than what was first expected. The renewal, however, has greater significance as the major US carrier seeks ways to adapt to evolving markets and navigate a significant amount of uncertainty. So why is an airline so desperate to grow its market share by removing planes sooner than expected, instead of exercising the maximum amount of life possible for these workhorses? Well, first of all, United has already confirmed the early retirement of 21 aircraft, as reported in a recent quarterly report. The decision to retire aircraft earlier than expected can be described as a tough one, but it is considered a last resort to manage several operational challenges. United has confirmed in the last month that its fleet reduction tactics will save around USD 100 million this year alone. The measures initiated mean that engine overhauls are no longer required for these outgoing planes. United Airlines had previously suggested that some jets would be sent into early retirement. However, it had yet to confirm this formally until a week ago. Away from the confirmed early retirement of these planes, United is also going one step further, with suggestions indicating that older 767 and 777 jets could be axed as part of continued fleet optimization efforts. Comments confirmed by the Executive Vice President and CCO were in response to the cautionary forecasting of international flying and also your in-demand domestic flights, which has been affected through forward bookings. United says it has, at the very least, been able to develop an order book that will support continued growth and also renewal. However, it's more than aware of the many operational challenges it now faces as we reach the midway point of the 2020s. And as a result, planes such as the 767 and 777, especially those on the older side, are viewed as aircraft that could be removed from the fleet if challenges continue to occur that do, say, force change. For United, the primary reason for transitioning to newer aircraft is the emphasis that has long been placed on moving towards a new era. I know that's often said a lot, but it is true for this company. When the global pandemic emerged, many airlines, especially those in the United States, tended to realize that they had too many aircraft types in their fleets. Amidst an era where focus was on fleet simplification to lower expenses and crew costs, while US carriers such as United often found themselves in a spot where they had too many products available and no continuity. At the time, the airline was building an order book for the future, which involved acquiring more aircraft to fuel growth plans. However, a strong focus was also placed on reducing the number of types present, instead relying on a stricter fleet size. United believed that reducing the number of aircraft types would make it more efficient and align with the industry's forward direction. But this doesn't mean that really in a bid to achieve this, United did not encounter challenges. Ultimately, numerous roadblocks have arisen in the attempts to renew the fleet. Primarily, yes, thanks to global supply chain issues that have prevented plane makers such as Airbus and Boeing from delivering these new-gen planes on time, but additionally, Boeing has just faced its own issues which have impacted United. Furthermore, United has also stated that the retirement of aircraft comes due to the political unrest following a change of administration in the US that occurred at the beginning of this year. Following the changeover, you may know that tariffs have dominated headlines and prompted many members of the public in other countries outside the US to reassess their travel options. Also, things are just a little bit tougher now more than ever. So with so much uncertainty, United has said that its forward bookings appear to be dropping across its domestic network as well. A 4 percentage point capacity cut is set to take effect over the coming months to address this issue. The capacity cuts will allow for the retirement of some older jets. Meanwhile, as they implement these cuts, they are still awaiting the delivery of many next-gen planes from Airbus and Boeing that have been delayed. United has also warned that if unrest was to continue, it would not hesitate to make further changes to its network, with analysts expecting this to occur as the months roll on if nothing was to change between now and that point. Similar to different points in history, such as during the pandemic and the global financial crisis, customer confidence in bookings are always going to vary. While not as significant as maybe the pandemic, what has been happening now is enough for airlines to reassess their day-to-day operation and respond to obstacles that they may be facing. Ultimately, there are several key considerations for United Airlines to address moving forward, and that does include how to manage fleet retirement and renewal efforts effectively and in a serious manner. United has long been focused on that renewal. However, over the past several years, it's not been smooth sailing. They hope one day they'll be able to achieve that, but they wouldn't necessarily be wrong in feeling like everything keeps hitting them like a brick wall over and over again, and every time maybe some form of stability is achieved or a pathway out of this mess has been carved, something else hits and changes that. It's the way of life, and it's the way of the aviation industry. Keen to hear your take down below in the comments. Thanks a bunch for your support. Please take care, do be safe, and I'll see you in a couple of days for your latest industry analysis right back here on GlobeTrotting.
And we'll fly.